But first, we want to share with you some brand new developments we are learning in the Sean Diddy Combs investigations and civil lawsuits. We know this is an ongoing case against him, and now we are learning that one of the civil complaints that's been brought against Diddy has been amended. It's been amended. And so you may recall us talking about this case previously, and a case about a 13-year-old allegedly being raped by Diddy, allegedly being assaulted and raped by another male celebrity who was previously not identified. Now, that celebrity has been identified. He's been identified as fellow hip-hop mogul Jay-Z. His name has been revealed. The allegation is that he and Diddy raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party in the year 2000 after the MTV Video Music Awards. Now, Jay-Z is denying these allegations. In a statement he posted to his X account, he denies the allegations and questions why this was done civilly, why this civil lawsuit was filed demanding money, and why a criminal complaint has not been made. He writes, quote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny," end quote. So that was what Jay-Z said publicly on his X account. In a statement to ABC News, that attorney, Mr. Busby, said, quote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, this is the same lawsuit that was filed in October, accusing Diddy and accusing another celebrity of working in conjunction with Diddy to rape a 13-year-old not identified in the complaint, just named only as Jane Doe. And they also allege in this suit that another female celebrity was there the whole time watching this happen. So basically, we've heard these allegations about Diddy, and we're wondering who these two other celebrities are. In the first suit, they were just named as Celebrity A, a male celebrity, and Celebrity B, a female. Female just said to be watching, but Celebrity B said to have been taking part in the assaultive behavior. So now that suit has been amended and Jay-Z's name has been filled in. His real name, Sean Carter. So now he's a defendant along with Diddy.
The music industry is in turmoil after a lawsuit was filed accusing two major figures, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in 2000. The anonymous plaintiff alleges that the incident happened at an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards, an event known for its glitz and celebrity appearances. These serious allegations have sparked widespread debate on social media and brought intense scrutiny to both artists.
Particular civil lawsuit. There's so much to discuss here. Let me bring in our law enforcement analyst this hour. She is a law enforcement expert. She's also a trial consultant. Sunny Slaughter on the program. Sunny, good morning to you. We talked about this. When that suit was first filed. We were all wondering, who are these celebrities? Who is this man who's alleged to have raped this child, as Diddy is alleged to have raped this child? And who is this female celebrity who's alleged to have watched these rapes happen? What's your reaction, please, to this allegation being brought against Sean Carter and him not wanting to settle this?
Good morning, Julie. Here we go again. Here we go with this case and the unfolding of it. So when it comes to Sean Carter being named, we've been hearing the rumblings and the ramblings that it could be him, that he could have something to do with this, and now the name is out. I have to agree with him. If this is a criminal case, criminal charges, let's see that happen. I am always, as a law enforcement expert, a litigation consultant, and someone that specializes in trafficking and sexual exploitation cases concerned when we go to mediation regarding something that's criminal and not to the criminal litigation and for the investigation that is necessary in this case. Although it might be 24 years old, the allegations, we investigate cases that are 24 years old as law enforcement, and I think we need to see clear eyes and take down the temperature with the hype and get into the investigative material and start with Homeland Security Investigations, who has the expertise, who did the execution of the search warrant on Sean Puffy Combs stuff, and let's get into it that way as opposed to having mediation. These are criminal allegations, and we should not take them lightly, and particularly based on the age of the individual, and there could be others allegations.
Right, Sonny. And excellent points here. And let's keep taking it a step further. So you said this is a valid point, and I agree. I agree. I said it to my colleague, our senior producer on the show, Eric Goldson, when he said Jay-Z makes this point about why isn't this criminal? And I said, yeah, he's right. And I looked up the law. So the New York Child Victims Act, sometimes we hear it referred to as the CVA, a wonderful piece of legislation that opens up the window of the statute of limitations, right? Statutes of limitations, bar complaints.
The lawsuit claims that Jay-Z, Sean Diddy Combs, and another unnamed celebrity allegedly took turns assaulting the plaintiff. According to the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, his client has not pursued financial compensation from Jay-Z. Instead, her focus has been on seeking justice through private mediation. However, the gravity of the accusations and the involvement of such prominent figures have made it impossible for the case to remain low profile.
Twist in a high-profile lawsuit accusing rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Jay-Z has firmly denied the accusations, calling them outrageous and characterizing the lawsuit as an act of blackmail. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, echoed this sentiment, accusing attorney Tony Busby of using the situation for personal benefit. Spiro challenged Busby to file a criminal complaint instead of pursuing a civil case if the claims were truly serious. This heated response underscores the intricate balance between legal strategies and media influence in high-profile legal battles.
Morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after-party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long. Where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning, good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, you know, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil.
Meanwhile, Sean Diddy Combs is already dealing with serious legal challenges. He faces separate charges alleging that he organized drug-fueled parties and used intimidation to force women into participating. Combs has pleaded not guilty to these accusations, with his criminal trial scheduled for May 2025. The latest allegations only intensify the spotlight on his actions, further complicating his personal and professional reputation.
And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touched on a point, too, that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, you know, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
The allegations have sent shockwaves through the music industry, which is no stranger to controversy. Jay-Z, celebrated not only as a rapper but also as a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist, has long been admired as a symbol of success and stability, especially as the husband of global superstar Beyoncé. His carefully crafted image as a role model and embodiment of the American dream now faces serious challenges. These accusations spark broader conversations about holding powerful figures in entertainment accountable for their actions.
Accusation about Jay-Z and Diddy and a teenager, 13-year-old teenager.
Right.
And we were speaking about just the statement.
Right.
The statement, you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was, that the statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, like, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this. Like, and that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like your publicist wouldn't say those things.
This is on your
Put that up.
yeah, this is on
50?
Yeah, it says I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. You know, I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back, but the NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right. Why do you not insert yourself, but you're on top of every topic, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm participating. I'm being part of culture. I'm just telling my opinion.
Right.
Look,
because you're part of the culture.
Like I can't say anything now. I'm out of it. I'm like I'm going to Dre's studio and just sit with Dre a little
Right.
bit. And then, maybe I stay out of trouble.
Nah.
For Scene Diddy Combs, the situation is just as troubling. Once hailed as a pioneer in hip-hop and fashion, his reputation has been steadily eroded by ongoing legal issues. This new lawsuit adds another blow to his already shaky standing, further tarnishing his public image and potentially solidifying his downfall in the eyes of fans and critics alike.
Hard.
Ooh.
Usher was here last night, did a great concert. Chris Brown is now about to have a Quiet on Set type documentary.
You want to know what's funny?
Go, please, yeah, I needed your take on this.
That's even happening.
I know. I said, what the I said, what the So I said, Jag is the first person I needed to hear from this. The fact that that's even happening. Give me your take.
I hate the fact that even me advocating for him might bring him more pain. They hate him. And Usher is like, he's the poster boy for booty hole baby oil and butt plugs. Like it's... And Chris Brown, and they keep trying. They did the same thing to Michael Jackson.
Same way.
They did the same thing. They just kept, for him, it was children. And for Chris, it's, you hit Rihanna. You a beat her for the rest of your life. You're a weirdo. Like we don't care that you're talented. We don't care that you don't hire lookalikes to come and do your concerts after people paid all that money to see you, like Usher did. Like it's...
If the documentary does show something or tell something that is damning,
anybody who wants to watch that needs to take into consideration that we live in the age of AI. And you can make a human being say anything you want them to if you have enough picture frames and if you have enough voice. But at the end of the day, we live in a day and age now where you can literally make a person say and do whatever you want them to. All you need is the right amount of pixels and the right amount of imagery, and you can make anybody say anything. Hey, well, wait a minute, didn't the DA thank me? The DA, in Diddy's case, thanked me too. Is that him or AI?
So, Jag, there's a saying, and Vlad brought this up right after you came on Piers Morgan. He's saying, of course, these documentaries tend to lead to like arrest.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that if there's smoke, there's fire.
Chris Brown.
Public reaction to the allegations has been deeply divided. Supporters of the plaintiff argue that the accusations highlight systemic issues of power and exploitation in the entertainment industry. Many view this case as a potential turning point for the #MeToo movement, which has already brought down numerous high-profile figures in Hollywood and other industries.
All costs.
There we go. Without
Every
question.
Chris Brown fan. Like I'm learning the sensational choreography because I got a little special plan. But I love that song, Sensational, with him and Davido. Why is it a #1 blockbuster hit everywhere in the world except for here? Maybe for the same reason that, you know, Rihanna's music is blocked. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
They're blocking her records. Like if you go and try to add a song to a short, you know, the approved playlist when you put in search, you can't tag a Rihanna song to any of it. Not on Instagram at all. Why not? Especially anything from the Auntie album. It was her best album. It was the least promoted. It came to mixed, no, it was amazing. But see, Sean Carter doesn't like to be embarrassed in public. And neither does his wife. And there were nothing but embarrassing things all through that album about
I got a random question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Janet Jackson?
That's a hard one. I love Janet. And I also know that Janet came up in a time where she was trying to find her own independence and trying to find her own voice. And she wasn't gonna let her daddy do to her what he did to her brother Michael. Janet is strong, she's smart, she's fierce, and she's loyal. She's a Taurus. You know, her birthday is May 19th. She's a Taurus. But the fact that her bisexuality is still being hidden. The fact that the real.
On the other hand, skeptics highlight the lack of concrete evidence and question the timing of the lawsuit. Some argue that claims from over 2 decades ago are challenging to prove, while others view the case as part of a larger pattern of targeting successful Black men in positions of power. This perspective adds layers of complexity to the ongoing discussions around race, justice, and accountability in high-profile cases.
Jay-Z has denied allegations he drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs at an MTV Music Awards after party in 2000. His name has been added to a civil lawsuit against Combs, refiled in a New York court. In a statement, Jay-Z described the allegations as heinous, and he blasted the lawyer who filed the allegations, calling it a blackmail attempt designed to get him to settle.
The lawsuit, filed in New York State Supreme Court, highlights the complexities of handling assault cases involving prominent figures. The plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, is known for taking on high-profile cases, adding further attention to the matter. Busby emphasized that his client is not seeking financial compensation, focusing instead on the emotional and psychological impact of such incidents. However, Jay-Z's legal team has accused Busby of exaggerating the case to attract media coverage.
Did you hear about this? Rapper and music mogul Jay-Z is now being accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs during an MTV VMA after party in the year 2000. The rapper issued a blistering statement in response and directed his comments at attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, saying, quote, "You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." Criminal defense attorney Lexi Rigdon joins me now. Lexi, good morning to you. What a development here. So another thing Jay-Z said in his statement is that this was a civil suit filed against him. And he said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, essentially saying if I really did these things, treat me the way I should be treated. So how should we be thinking about all of this? What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions to my lawyers. I actually admire the strength of the denial. I think that at this point, there's no objective indicia of reliability to this complaint. Now, obviously, things are going to play out and we're going to end up learning more. But if you look at it on its face, it's a 24-year-old complaint. Very significantly, he was not named in the lawsuit in the first instance when it was filed. The girl was allegedly 13 at the time it happened, and in the complaint it says that she had been given something and she was quote unquote woozy. And so I think that this just needs to be looked at in kind of a measured way. Unlike the media is treating some people in the media, Pete Hegseth being one of them, where they automatically hear an allegation and they run with it. I think that this needs to be treated in a measured type of way. We don't need knee-jerk societal reactions. Anybody can make allegations against somebody, and people who are rich and famous are particularly targets. And so obviously I don't know what happened, but I think it just needs to play out, and we need to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Well, that's what Tony Busby is saying. And so this federal lawsuit was originally filed in October. So interesting that we're only learning about this now. And then Tony Busby responded to Jay-Z's statement by writing this on X. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, meaning the defendant, Mr. Carter has not only sued me.
With renowned attorneys like Alex Spiro for Jay-Z and Bradford Cohen for Diddy involved, this legal battle is set to be fiercely contested. Both lawyers have built successful careers defending high-profile clients and are expected to use strong strategies to protect their clients' reputations.
Harass me and this plaintiff, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York declined to comment on whether the office is pursuing this case. So what happens next?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, we don't know if the feds are going to be looking into this. They may well be at this point. I think that there are people further looking into Diddy. I think there might be a superseding indictment coming, and probably looking into the people that he's associated with himself. But this also may well be beyond the statute of limitations. So it really just depends. I mean, as it stands right now, I can't imagine that there's enough evidence to necessarily bring something, because somebody's accuser saying something happened 24 years ago without more evidence is probably not going to be enough. But then again, we don't know what evidence she has. So it really remains to be seen if this is actually going to be passed on to the criminal authorities, or if they're working on it at this point.
All right, so jury deliberations in the Daniel Penny case are set to resume today after the judge dismissed Penny's second-degree manslaughter charge, which carried a 15-year prison sentence. A jury is now being asked to consider a charge of criminally negligent homicide, which carries a 4-year prison sentence. Tell us what criminally negligent homicide is, and should Daniel Penny be worried about being found guilty of it?
Well, criminally negligent homicide is that he did not act as a reasonable person should have under the circumstances. And this is just very troubling, because I was looking at the verdict form, and the verdict form actually says, for count 1, which is the manslaughter, if you find him not guilty, then you move on to count 2, which is the criminally negligent homicide. That didn't happen here. There was no finding of guilt or any acquittal. It was just, they were deadlocked. They sent a note. They said, we can't come to a conclusion. The judge made them go back and keep deliberating, and then treating it almost like an a la carte menu, the state decided to say, all right, well, we'll just dismiss that count. We'll proceed on the second count. Well, that's not what the jury verdict says. That's not how they were charged. It's very, very inappropriate what happened here. His attorneys were outraged. They have every right to be. This is unfortunate. Whether he should be worried or not, I'm a little bit concerned that there wasn't just an acquittal or not guilty. So there are obviously holdouts on the jury that believe that his conduct, at least for the manslaughter count, had risen to the level of recklessness, which would assume that it rises to the level of negligence. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there is a chance that he could be, but I also think it's equally, probably more so, that it's, again, a hung jury.
We will be watching it all. Lexi, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Carly.
Have a good day.
The case comes at a time when the entertainment industry is facing a reckoning over issues of abuse and exploitation. The #MeToo movement has given survivors the courage to speak out, but it has also exposed the difficulties of achieving justice when powerful figures are involved. Allegations against figures like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly have highlighted the systemic nature of abuse in the industry, and this lawsuit could shine a spotlight on the need for cultural and structural reforms.
Jay-Z has been accused of sexually assaulting a teenager in 2000, allegedly along with Sean Diddy Combs. NBC News reports that the anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at a house party after the MTV Video Music Awards when she was 13 years old. The lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York against Sean Diddy Combs, but was refiled on the weekend to include Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. It's alleged the accuser had to sign a non-disclosure agreement to enter the party, which they claim was filled with celebrities doing drugs. The accuser says she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy and lightheaded. Shortly after was when the alleged sexual assault took place by both Jay-Z and Diddy. Jay-Z has strongly denied the accusations, telling NBC News in a statement, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Sean Diddy Combs is right now behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after he was denied bail for a third time. Federal prosecutors in New York criminally charged him in September with racketeering, sex trafficking and other offences. He has denied all the accusations against him. His trial is scheduled to take place in May. NBC News reports that Texas-based attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, has not commented. In Jay-Z's statement to NBC News, he accused Busby of blackmail. He says, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." Tony Busby has filed several lawsuits in recent months. All have withheld their complainants' names, accusing Sean Diddy Combs of assault. This is the first lawsuit which has named another high-profile defendant.